always staring at you from the sand, isn't it?
Put the vibes out there for the Sunday. We finna review these videos. Let me know what y'all think is true. Have you seen any of these things? If so, where at? If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe. Stick around to the end. Got something special for y'all at the end of these videos. Money making opportunity, exclusive product, exclusive website launch. Gonna check it out here today. And make sure you stick around to the end and subscribe if you're new to my channel. Today is Sunday, June 7th, 2025. Actually, it's Sunday, June 8th, 2025. I want you to be all mind filled with the light of my presence. I gave everything for you by living as a man, then dying for your sins and living again. Hold back nothing from me. Bring your most secret thoughts into the light of my love. Anything you bring to me, I transform and cleanse from darkness. I know everything about you far more than you know of yourself, but I restrain my yearning to fix you, waiting instead for you to come to me for help. Imagine the divine restraint this requires, for I have all power in heaven and on earth. Seek my face with teachable spirit. Come into my presence with thanksgiving. Desire to be transformed. Psalms chapter 100, verse 4. Is that far? Verse 4. You screenshot this, take a picture or whatever. And there you go. I'm gonna catch y'all up a little bit. I've been watching this already, but let's check this out.
Exactly a normal day at the beach, but as strange as it looks, there's actually nothing supernatural about it. That thing is called a stargazer fish. Trust me, it's not something you want to mess with. Stargazers are ambush predators. They even more
All right, here we go from the beginning. Y'all seen this before.
to play around with something like this. In her own words, there are some things we don't touch, and I definitely agree with her.
What is happening? Ooh, why is it here? It's just posted up.
This doll might have been used as a representative for a person named Cursed. It could have been used as an earthly representation of some form of voodoo god. There's also the chance that it's just a scarily made doll, but who's willing to take that chance to see which it is? Certainly not me.
What in the world? Who? I'm trying to figure out.
Y'all ever seen anything like this?
This clip was sent in from Australia, and the uploader believes he encountered a yowie. According to him, the yowie jumped from a tree 15 feet high and ran away. It had black fur all around, with broad shoulders and a conical small head. When it came to its feet, however, it had large flipper-like toes and was only about 5 feet tall, minus the height. I'm sure everything else reminds you of Bigfoot, right? Well, the yowie is actually what you might consider the Australian cousin of Bigfoot, a mythical ape-like creature rooted in Aboriginal folklore and said to roam the remote wilderness. Often described as towering and hairy with a face that's somewhere between human and primate, the yowie has been a staple of Aussie cryptid tales for centuries. The big question now is if this is legit. Aaron, our in-house conspiracy theorist, believes it's true. But what do you think?
Okay, have your home screen?
It's on the home screen.
Not touching anything. Okay, infrared lens on the camera. Boom, there was one.
Next, we got a woman who decided to test something strange using her phone. A standard camera and an infrared camera. A partner sat across from her holding his iPhone. As she filmed with the infrared camera, the iPhone's front-facing camera appeared to flash repeatedly when the camera app wasn't even open. This mysterious flash wasn't visible to the naked eye, but the infrared lens picked it up. It looked like the iPhone was snapping invisible photographs every few seconds, regardless of what the user was doing. Even more disturbing, when he covered the lens with his fingers, the infrared flashes kept going.
Oh, it's trying. It's taking pictures of your finger. Okay, move your finger. Ready? Boom. Why?
So is this part of some kind of face tracking or biometric monitoring system, or is it just a harmless proximity sensor? Apple hasn't issued a clear public statement about this specific flashing behavior, but the implications are scary, especially when paired with what we already know about how much data our phones quietly collect. We used to worry about being followed outside. Now we might be being watched while scrolling in bed.
That your phone, an iPhone specifically, takes an infrared picture of you with your Face ID every 5-ish seconds. And we looked at it through an infrared camera, and it's pretty wild. Let's show you. Okay, have your home screen. It's on home screen. Not touching anything. No buttons. Okay, infrared lens on the camera. Boom, there was one.
This next footage was shared just this May. A group of people were out by Colorado River enjoying a day near the riverside when they saw something unusual moving among the trees below. They quickly grabbed their phones and began recording. This large humanoid creature was walking upright through the brush. Its movements were slow, deliberate, and oddly natural. This wasn't someone in a costume. There was something off and very real about it. Since the clip was posted, the paranormal community has been buzzing. Many are calling it one of the most compelling and authentic cryptid sightings in recent years from the American wilderness. Others suggest it may be a forest spirit or even something interdimensional. Whatever it wasn't human, and it left everyone who saw it in person shaken. So what do you think this creature could be? That's really Would you stop if you saw this on your way home? If you
Nope.
answer yes, come closer. You might want to rethink your answer. You ask, have you ever heard of La Llorona? I guess not. La Llorona is a legendary spirit from Latin American folklore, often described as the weeping woman who wanders near rivers, lakes, and dark roads late at night. According to the tale, she drowned her own children in a fit of rage or
I
despair
heard about
after
her
being
before.
betrayed by her lover. And now she's cursed to roam the earth crying out for them as she searches in vain. She usually seen wearing a long white dress, her face hidden behind a veil or drenched in tears, and those who hear her cries are said to be marked by misfortune or even death. So if you ever spot a figure sobbing in the shadows or on a highway, you might want to think twice before stopping. It might just be La Llorona, and she's not looking for company, she's looking for her children. Woe to anyone who approaches her without them. Also, it could just be thieves waiting to ambush you, so, stay safe out there. This was uploaded by a group of friends exploring the great outdoors. According to them, they were just moving around when they noticed something on one of the branches from the distance. Thinking it was an animal they hadn't seen before, they got closer, only to realize that it might be a person. What's more, the person
Yeah, I
didn't
see
look
that.
like one of them, but that's not normal. One of the guys in the group is heard calling the name of the person they suspected he might be. The human, however, does not respond, instead drops to the ground like an animal and keeps looking around. It's almost like he had been possessed. As interesting as that was, they soon realized the man was not the only one there. There is something or someone else with them. Many suspect this is nothing more than a skinwalker with a bewitched victim. I've watched the clip over and over, and I can't help but notice that the man is trying to prevent himself from laughing. Well, if that's correct, this is either staged or Julius is starting to rub off on me.
What is this?
China has been in the news recently in all spheres: economy, diplomacy, tech, and now warfare. And this one's straight out of a sci-fi thriller. China is testing the Zhutian SSUAV, a massive drone mothership designed to command entire drone swarms in real time. Using satellite links and onboard AI, it can jam enemy systems, identify targets, and launch dozens, even hundreds of drones that move and attack like a mechanical hive. It's swarm warfare. Overwhelm the enemy through speed, volume, and machine coordination. But here's where things get even more interesting. While China's tech is turning heads, the US may be even further ahead, just much quieter about it. With an $8 billion defense budget, black projects buried in places like DARPA and maybe even Area 51, rumors swirl that America already has drone fleets with near autonomous compatibility. Think Valkyrie drones, AI pilots, and experimental tech we've never seen. So yeah, the future of war is fast, autonomous, and very possibly already here. It's not about who has the biggest army anymore, but who has the smartest swarm. A girl shared this video online, and at first it had everyone on edge. According to her, she and her friend had gone on a road trip and were using a remote road that cut through the heavily wooded area when something strange happened. This man appeared in the distance, walking toward the car. He was moving quickly, and the girl, clearly alarmed, started to drive off. In a second clip, we see something else. She had stopped the car again and was still filming. The same man was now approaching slowly, this time holding a flower in his hand. As he got closer, she picked up speed, and just as she drove forward, he started suddenly running after the car. Then, as if defeated, he stopped and walked off to the side of the road, squatting down like he was sulking. It was strange and unsettling, especially considering how isolated the area was. But then something even more confusing happened. She stopped and reversed the car toward the man. People online were already worried for her safety, but she later revealed that the strange man was actually her friend, the same one she was on the trip with. She asked him to get out of the car and pick her a flower, and she was just messing with him, and apparently with us too. Turns out she pranked the whole internet. Still, for a moment there, it looked way too real.
That's crazy.
A woman woke
Now,
up in
some
the
of this
middle of
stuff
the
they be
night to
putting
get
on
water
here
from the
just
fridge.
for the views and stuff like that. Some of this stuff is clearly just entertainment, but some of this stuff is like, well, no, got questions. Some of this stuff I don't care for, but some of it I like to check out. The ones that I really like about whatever, I'll let y'all know as we go through the video. But the ones that I don't like, I'll let it play out either way it go, and then y'all can let me know if this is something you want to continue to see or skip through it. And also, if you had any of these experiences, let's chat it up in the comments. Let me know what you experienced and where at. Not specifically the, but the state or whatever like that.
Only to freeze in terror because she saw this. There, halfway down the staircase, was a humanoid figure just standing there facing her. She was so shocked. At first, she thought her mind was playing tricks on her. Maybe it was just the dog, of course. She was still half asleep. But when she snapped the picture, what she saw confirmed it. There was definitely something there. It had a full humanoid shape, faint but visible in the darkness. She said the house had never had any activity like this before, so you can imagine how horrified she was. Now, some people believe it could have been a ghost. Others think it might have been a type of entity that's been there all along, but just never revealed itself until now. If this was the first time she saw it, how many nights had it already been standing there, just watching? Florida shocks the world again. Someone captured this strange video while out in Florida right around sunset. The clouds had that classic deep blue tint you get as the day fades, and on one end of the sky, the sun was clearly setting, and high above them was a crescent moon.
Wow.
Right there in the sky, far from the sun, was this massive reddish orb glowing boldly in the sky. It looked almost like the sun, but that couldn't be. The actual sun was already low on the horizon. So what is this fiery red shape floating in the sky? Some are speculating it could be another planet, but what planet glows like that? It wasn't really like a
Mars.
plane, and it definitely wasn't the moon. Others say it might be some sort of rare weather phenomenon, but there are also those who believe it could be something we're not supposed to see. A few in the paranormal and UFO communities think this could be one of those rare moments where we see something that normally remains hidden. So what do you think this red, strange orb could be? This strange sighting just came out of Ibiza, Spain, and has got people talking. The video was taken in May 2025 by a local man who lives near a meadow surrounded by hills. He said he noticed a shiny object in the sky, and it was glimmering just above the hilltops, then suddenly vanished behind one. So he decided to grab his phone and get a closer look. Now here's the thing. The object didn't look like something falling from the sky. It wasn't tumbling or spinning like debris or a meteor. Instead, it moved slowly and deliberately, like it was aware of its path. It looked too intentional and calculated. That's why some are saying this could be more than just a random object, but possibly an actual unidentified flying craft. It didn't behave like a drone, it didn't match the speed or shape of a plane. So could this be yet another piece of the ever-growing UFO mystery? It's actually very easy to deceive the eye, even when something as natural as the ocean. With just the slightest play on light, movement, or perspective, you can create illusions that make us question what we're really seeing. Take a look at this bit of footage. Someone was driving past the ocean, and at first glance, everything looked completely still. The car moved slowly, but strangely, the water looked frozen in time. The waves didn't seem to roll or ripple, but then as the car came to a stop, the illusion broke. Suddenly, you could see the water surface shifting, the waves crashing, and the ocean coming to life. This strange visual glitch wasn't a filter or CGI, it was just a simple trick of motion perspective. When you're moving at a certain speed while looking at a vast body of water, your brain and eyes sink in a way that can cancel out visible movement. And once you stop, the natural motion returns and the illusion fades. So, a lady uploaded this clip to her TikTok because she was allegedly confused and scared. She was playing around with a cam and ended up with this. Her eyes weren't supposed to look like this, they were supposed to match her face. Seeing what looks like a medal or chain in her eye was not part of the bargain. This allegedly freaked her out and made her ask online. Some mentioned it might be ocular capillaries, but I've revised the clip a number of times, and I'm tempted to believe this is part of whatever filter she's using. Is there an optometrist here to confirm?
Did you guys see the video of the girl who's using, hold on, this filter? And you could see bugs crawling around in her hair. Because I did. And I don't know what to do.
Speaking of illusions, have you ever heard of the Escherian stairwell? This stairwell is said to exist at RIT, which is Rochester Technology, and it's one of the most mind-bending illusions you'll ever see. It's named after M.C. Escher, the artist known for impossible structures and infinity loops, and true to its name, this staircase appears to defy physics. Just watch this little girl try it. You can see the confusion on her face as she starts walking up confidently, only to realize that something's not adding up. She gets visibly shocked once she notices that she's back where she began, and yet she never turned around. When you walk up the steps, it feels like you're going up, but somehow you end up right back where you started. You keep climbing, but you're trapped in an endless loop as if the staircase is folding reality itself. Now, some say it's a real architectural trick. Others believe it's a digital illusion or part of a staged experiment. The trippy and it messes with your senses of direction and logic in the best way possible. Have you seen this before? And do you think it's real or just a clever trick of the camera?
But what I want you to do is just walk up the stairs and wait for me on the next floor.
Just go up.
Go on up. There you go.
That's it?
That's it.
You just go upstairs.
Just keep walking. Get to the top. Rosie! What are you doing here?
The dark web is not for the faint of heart. Let me tell you that right now. A man was browsing one of the dark web marketplaces when something caught his eye, and it sent chills down his spine. It was a page selling shoes, but not just any shoes. Each one had a girl's name attached to it.
What's happening, man?
That might seem innocent until you notice the condition of the shoes. Some are dirty, worn out, and used. Nothing about this seems normal, and the names made it worse. It felt like the shoes weren't a product, but a symbol, a representation of something or someone. People began to speculate that this might be more than just some creepy resale page. But the shoes were
You got
used
your lunch
to sell or
before?
traffic
I got
girls
lunch.
whose names they
Your mom
carried.
says you feel
On the
like
dark web, that's not a far-fetched theory.
You got your
We know
clothes
people
ready
have
too?
used everyday
Yeah, I got
objects
my
as covers
clothes
for
ready.
horrifying illegal
What you gonna wear?
activities. It's a terrifying
I
thought,
wear
but it's the kind of thing that lurks behind the veil of the internet's
and a
darkest corners. The
You already put
question
'em up?
is, what
Yeah.
else is being
Oh,
sold
yeah,
this
you
way
can
do-
that
And
we
my
don't
hoodie.
even know
Oh.
about?
It's probably gonna be hot though.
yeah, it is hot.
Just in case for in the morning.
Yeah, in the morning.
Oh.
And then I went to sleep on Monday. And then the bus appeared on
Someone spotted
Friday.
something strange hanging just above the trees.
So what y'all doing this week
It
at
was
the
this
center?
shiny
Y'all you
object
going on
suspended
a
silently between the treetops.
picnic tomorrow
Didn't
and
look like a
then
drone, and it definitely
after
wasn't
that y'all
shaped
going to the
like an aircraft
Yeah.
most people are familiar with.
and then the
Some say
noise
it looked
got
like
10.
light frozen in air.
10.
Others believe it might have been a cloaked
Eight.
craft or
What
a
are you
piece of
packed up?
technology not from this world.
what are you put in there?
The footage has been shared online, and while some call
Hey,
it
that
fake,
sound good.
others are convinced it's something
And
more.
then
What do you think it was?
I'm gonna tell you now.
Alright.
Back in 2005, a cancer researcher named Dr. Keith Cheng made a discovery that stirred up a lot of interesting conversations about human evolution. While studying several types of zebrafish, which have black and white stripes like little underwater zebras, he noticed something unusual. Some of the fish had lost their black stripes due to a genetic mutation. But here's where it gets really fascinating. That same mutation was later found in lighter-skinned humans, particularly those of European descent. The gene, known as SLC24A5, plays a major role in skin pigmentation. According to Chen's findings, this suggests that lighter-skinned people may have evolved from darker-skinned ancestors. In other words, white skin is a result of genetic adaptation, possibly to help the body absorb more sunlight in regions with less UV radiation, which affects vitamin D production. This discovery adds to the evidence supporting the idea that all humans ultimately trace their origins back to Africa, and the differences in skin color evolved as our ancestors migrated and adapted to new environments. Pretty incredible, right? I bet that pisses off all the racists out there when they realize their ancestors are probably black. Someone was walking along the beach when they spotted something odd half buried in the sand with a small pool of water around it. It was a face. Yeah, a face. Two bulging eyes, a white mouth, and this unsettling stillness like it was watching. Of course, some people were quick to call it paranormal. I mean, wouldn't you? A creepy face staring at you from the sand isn't exactly a normal day at the beach, but as strange as it looks, there's actually nothing supernatural about it. That thing is called a stargazer fish, and trust me, it's not something you want to mess with. Stargazers are ambush predators. They bury themselves in the sand with only their eyes and mouths sticking out, lying perfectly still as they wait for prey to come near. When something swims or crawls up enough, it launches upward and swallows it whole.
Ugh.
But that's not all. Some species of stargazers are also venomous, and others can even deliver electric shocks, like actual jolts of electricity to stun their prey or defend themselves. So no, this isn't a demon from the sea, but it is a terrifying little reminder of just how weird and wild nature can be. And next time you're walking barefoot by the water, keep an eye out for those guys. ChatGPT can now analyze images, a major leap in AI capability that's turning heads everywhere. You can upload a photograph, meme, screenshot, or even a hand-drawn diagram, and it'll tell you what's in it, interpret it, or even break down the hidden meaning. The man in this clip uploaded a picture, and the app was able to tell him where it was taken. Bear in mind that no prompts or descriptions were given to the app to aid it. This isn't just about recognizing cats or street signs anymore. We're talking deep visual analysis, reading blurry text, identifying logos, decoding charts, and more. In practical terms, it means users can get help with homework, decipher strange symbols, or even spot inconsistencies in edited photographs. But it's what happens behind the scenes that's raising eyebrows. Some believe this image analysis tool is a lot more powerful than OpenAI admits. Rumors swirl online that ChatGPT can identify faces, read emotions, and even detect subtle government watermarks embedded in seemingly harmless images. A few conspiracy theorists claim this feature is being quietly used for mass surveillance trials, disguised as a helpful AI assistant, but actually testing facial recognition models and behavior prediction for shadowy organizations. Others warned that with enough image input, ChatGPT could start learning to piece together personal data, track locations, or reconstruct private events, all without the user even realizing it. Whether brilliant innovation or covert text platform, one thing's clear. This isn't just a chatbot anymore.
This thing is scary. Can you find the location? It's actually finding it. This is a city. They said it's Natal, right? But then now it's double checking if it looks like Natal. Which means, oh my god.
Passenger on thousands of feet above the ground, looked out of the window and spotted something strange in the sky. They grabbed their phone and hit record because of what they saw. Floating just a short distance from the plane were two long black smoke-like figures. They moved slowly, swirling in the air, not dispersing like regular smoke would, but almost alive. And then something even weirder happened. As the two forms spun and stretched, they suddenly merged into one, becoming a single entity drifting beside the plane. Now, some people say it's just exhaust or smoke from another aircraft, but if you watch closely, the way it moved and came together like that doesn't seem like smoke at all. Some are calling it a sky specter. Others wonder if it's an unknown energy form like something we haven't yet classified. So what do you think?
That's Venom, it looked like.
Take a look at this footage. A man is on a boat somewhere deep in a remote river. Suddenly he starts freaking out, screaming and scrambling, then jumps out of the boat to get away from something. Then the camera pans in the direction he was looking, and there it is. A massive, shadowy creature seems to be thrashing beneath the surface, moving through the water. Now this clip is said to have come from the Congo, and if you know your legends, then you've probably heard about Mekele Mbembe, a massive river beast often described as a dinosaur-like creature similar to the Loch Ness Monster. And honestly, it really does look like this man saw something terrifying. But this footage isn't real. It's a scene from a movie called The Dinosaur Project. It was a found footage style adventure film about a father and son who journey into the Congo jungle and come face to face with prehistoric creatures. So, there.
It's a
No
fluke.
one would have believed her if she hadn't captured it on video. A woman was in the ER waiting to be seen. To pass the time, she decided to take some photos of herself. But then, as the camera panned the room, she caught this. Across the room, someone or something was standing over another patient. It was tall, dark, humanoid in shape, but completely blacked out, standing motionless over a sleeping patient. It didn't move or look around, it just stood there watching. She was so shaken that she stayed awake the entire night. She was discharged the next day, but the fear followed her home. When she told her family what she saw, she believes she had just seen the Grim Reaper. She was in the emergency room after all. Anything could happen there. Life and death cross paths every day. So what was that shadowy figure?
Dude standing by, didn't even see it.
Here we have a video that's been making the rounds online, and it's creepy to say the least. It was taken by a girl at a university. She was just standing at the door of an empty classroom, using the glass window as a mirror to take a quick video of herself. But she captured something she didn't expect. As the camera rolls, you can see her flinch, startled by something behind her. In the reflection, there appears to be a strange, semi-invisible figure standing inside the room. And just as she reacts, the thing moves swiftly, gliding from the center of the room toward the window on the far side. You can actually see the motion as it passes by, but it's hard to tell if it walked through the wall, was already inside the room, or even if it's human at all. The figure looks pale and translucent, almost like it's not fully there, and it moves unnaturally fast. No one can say for sure what it was. So what do you think she captured in that reflection?
Looked like a little girl. Close.
Two men were out by the mountainside when they spotted something strange in the sky. It was a white glowing orb hovering just above the top of the hill. It glowed steadily up there. The men were so intrigued they ran uphill, trying to get closer to see what it really was. But just as they neared the top, the orb suddenly shot upward, melting into the sky, completely gone in seconds. Now, with sightings like this, it's hard not to consider the possibility of UFOs. I mean, think about it. A solid object floating with no visible propulsion system, no sound and no wings, just glowing and hovering there. If that's not some kind of non-human tech, what is?
Yeah, it disappeared.
Pongan ustedes, guacha. Y nos andamos alucinando.
Did you know your trash could be used to trace you and even recreate your face? There's an artist named Heather Dewey Hatborg who does just that. She goes around collecting discarded gum, strands of hair, and even cigarette butts from sidewalks, public spaces, just anywhere. Using the DNA left behind, she applies a process called DNA phenotyping. It's a technique that analyzes genetic material to predict physical traits like eye color, skin tone, facial structure, and more.
Wow, that's crazy.
Then, using that data, she 3D prints a face that represents what the person behind that DNA likely looks like. So, she basically sculpted a face from trash. But it's part art, part science, and definitely part warning. So next time you casually toss that gum on the ground or shed a hair in public, remember, someone out there might be able to find you.
Now that's crazy.
Have you ever...
Now that one's crazy. I don't know if y'all really got a understanding of what's going on, but somebody like that out here doing stuff like that just for fun. You know, there's other people out here been doing stuff like that for the government and for whatever other entities out there, you know. But just goes to show with technology out there like this, what else is possible, you know? You could do anything in the world, depending on what you're trying to do. But I think that's crazy. So littering, be careful what you're throwing out there on the ground, not protecting this earth, cleaning it up, because someone out there can find you, make you come clean it up. You see what just happened.
What a raccoon's hands really look like. A homeowner recently captured something. Have you ever seen what a... Have you ever seen what a raccoon's hands really look like? A homeowner recently captured something very strange on their Ring camera. The footage was recorded late at night outside their house where they'd left a bowl of dog food. Everything was quiet until something reached into the frame. You don't see the creature itself, just a hand, but this wasn't a dog paw. It didn't look like any regular animal either. The hand reached carefully into the bowl, grabbed a few pieces of dog food, pulled them out, and then went back in for more. It didn't claw or swipe like you'd expect from an animal scavenging food. It was precise, almost intelligent. Some people say it's just a raccoon, but those who've seen the footage up close say the hand looks slightly human. So the question is this just a clever raccoon with unusually dexterous paws, or did this camera catch something else?
Right. Look at that thing.
Every day it feels like there's a new piece of technology that just blows our minds. This time it's a new camouflage material developed in China. At first, it appears almost transparent like glass or plastic, but when someone stands behind it, they completely vanish. You can't see them at all. This isn't just a trick of the light. It's said to be made from a military-grade material using quantum stealth technology. It bends and manipulates the light around it, essentially making whatever behind it invisible to the naked eye. It's being referred to as an invisibility material. And though it looks simple, the science behind it is anything but. And just when we thought we'd seen it all, technology surprises us again. What would you do with a sheet of this?
That's cool.
And guys, I don't want to hear anybody say that they'd use it to go into the girls' showers at the gym. This woman shared a strange experience online, claiming she might have lived through a Matrix glitch, and honestly, her story checks out. She said she had a water bottle and had drunk from it just a few moments earlier and placed it back into a stroller. But when she reached for it again, something was off. The bottle was now completely full to the brim and sealed shut as if it had never been opened. She was freaked out, especially because people around her confirmed that they saw her drink from that same bottle just moments before. Now, this sounds like a textbook example of a glitch in the Matrix moment, but not everyone's convinced. A commenter claimed she's a paid actress who stages these scenarios for abuse, accusing her of faking paranormal-style content. And here's the real problem. When people fake experiences like this, it makes it harder for those who truly go through something unexplainable to be believed. The paranormal community has seen a lot, but it also values truth. So what do you think?
Water bottles like this. I have a little basket. I put both of the water bottles in. They were ice cold, like right out of the fridge. I opened it up and I started chugging it. Put the cap back on, set it back into my stroller, wiped my mouth because I had hella water dripping off my chin. I'm gonna take another drink. I reached to grab my water and I noticed that it's full still. So I grabbed the other water and I noticed that it's full.
We all know the famous name behind the moon landing, Neil Armstrong. He's remembered as the first man to step onto the lunar surface. But what many forget is that he didn't go alone. Behind him was Buzz Aldrin, and with them was Michael Collins, who stayed behind in the command module. All three were part of the Apollo 11 mission. Now, over the years, there have been countless conspiracy theories claiming the moon landing was fake. Believe it or not, some of the arguments are pretty convincing. But what happens when one of the very astronauts who walked on the moon says he never actually did? On more than one occasion, Buzz Aldrin himself has been caught on camera saying, "We never went to the moon." He claimed it was an animated production, not a mission, and now people are asking questions. There's a whole theory that the moon landing was carefully done for America to win the space race, not explore space itself. So what do you believe? Did we really land on the moon, or was it all a brilliantly executed illusion?
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
It didn't happen. It could have been scary. Because we did. Go there, watch animation.
Scientists really playing God these days. Just take a look at these images taken in the night sky over a research facility in Florida. Researchers were curious about how lightning forms, so they did something wild. They launched copper wires straight into the clouds during a thunderstorm. Since copper conducts electricity, they wanted to guide the lightning down a path, and it worked. The result was a terrifyingly beautiful display of glowing bolts tearing through the sky. But why are they trying to figure out lightning in the first place? What's the real reason behind this? Is it just curiosity, or is there something bigger they're not telling us? Because when you start pulling lightning out from the sky, are we just studying nature or trying to remake it? But I wouldn't put it past these scientists. These types of videos are a lot lately, and they're getting people talking. In this clip, a streak of light shoots across the sky, and boom, there's a blast of flames where it hit the ground, and just like that, it's gone. It all happened in a flash, literally. Now, some people say this is a glimpse of a new kind of military tech called a directed energy weapon. We're talking about high-powered beams that could destroy without warning and leave almost no trace. Is this video real? Well, we don't know for sure, but what we do know is that weapons like these do exist, and they're already being tested and even used in conflicts around the world. So what do you think? NASA launched a rover to Mars to explore the planet's surface. According to the one who uploaded this clip, during the mission, the rover stumbled upon an unexpected discovery: a finger. It's, however, unclear who it belongs to. According to him, further analysis is yet to be carried out to determine its origin and to understand how it ended up on the planet. There's a possibility that it could belong to extraterrestrial life, or it could have belonged to a human who previously visited the planet. As much as I want to believe this is true, everything about it screams hoax and false. I mean, if NASA discovered something like this, it would be big news, unless, of course, they're in cahoots with the aliens. What do you guys think? As we all know, technology has advanced far beyond our wildest imaginations. Tesla's work with robots is an excellent example of this. However, what caught my attention recently was something even more fascinating.
That's a
Recent
robotic
footage that we
fly
discovered.
or beetle. Black bee.
It shows a person holding what appears to be a fly in their hand. But on closer examination, it becomes clear that this insect is not a natural one. It appears to be made entirely of metal and has a head that doesn't resemble that of a regular insect. There were some in the paranormal community, however, who thought it looked like a cicada or a jarfly. I looked them up, and I get where they're coming from.
Nah, it
This
don't look
isn't
like
it.
that.
This
Yeah.
discovery raises many questions that I find intriguing. For instance, who made this metal fly? And for what purpose? Are there other animals or insects in the wild that are not real, like this one? If so, what implications does this have for our understanding of the natural world?
I flew off. That's a
In this footage, you can see a jet pilot pouring water into a cup and drinking it while the craft goes around, but the air never spills. How is this possible? Well, this is because of three main reasons. Firstly, as the aircraft moves, it creates a force called centripetal force. This force pushes the water toward the bottom of the cup, helping to keep it in place even if the cup is tilted or upside down. Secondly, water has a property called inertia, which means it wants to keep moving in the same direction as the aircraft.
okay.
So even if the cup is tilted or turned upside down during the aircraft's maneuvers, the water stays inside because it wants to follow the aircraft's movement. Lastly, there's something called surface tension on the water's surface, like a thin skin that holds the water molecules together. This surface tension helps to keep the water in the cup, especially when the cup is tilted or inverted. With all these factors combined, the water stays put in the cup even when the aircraft is pulling off tricks, allowing the pilot to enjoy their drink without any spills. Either that or the clip is fake. Which is your money on?
Is it real to me?
Still on the strange and weird, take a look at this
Is that
clip.
an octopus in the sky? A fish?
This video was posted online featuring a rather strange and mysterious creature. The creature appeared to have tentacles that were moving about as it floated in the air. The person who posted the video claimed that it was a leviathan, but people were not convinced. Take a look at some of the comments from the original post. Most people believed it was just a kite due to the varying shapes and sizes kites can come in. Another theory was that it was a weather balloon, but we're not exactly sure if there are weather balloons in this shape. Despite the many skeptics, some remained convinced that the creature was indeed a leviathan. For those who don't know, the leviathan is a mythical sea creature with tentacles. If we're going to be accurate to the lore, I'm not exactly sure it can fly, but hey, this is the 21st century where anything can be possible. So, what do you think?
It look like an octopus.
Tell me what you see. It appears that there is an entity moving in the water, and although it's not visible, there's a clear indication that something quite large is present in the water. Some people believe that this could be a massive sea creature swimming out of the water. However, I'm inclined to think that it's an electrical cable being dragged out of the water, and the water's movement is causing the cable to appear to be moving on its own. What's your opinion on this footage?
Not sure what that is. It's stuff pretty interesting.
Have you seen the guy who's not sleeping? It's getting bad. What's going on anymore, man?
He was caught harassing a Filipina. He tried grabbing the cap of a security guard, as you can see there.
But just please don't do what I did. Please. Don't be that stupid. I don't know what to do, you know? Life was going so good. I was waking up so happy every single day.
Some streamers don't care about rules. They don't care if they put themselves in danger. They just want people to watch. Today, we're looking at streamers willing to do anything for views.
Now, this one is a big one, especially with this new age and era we in, as far as content creators and new ways of people making money online, this new source of income. Making money online is a big source for a lot of people nowadays. The comfort of working from home, time freedom, there's a lot of benefits that come with that, and there's nothing honestly wrong with it. But what comes with it and how you get there can become a problem. Depending on what type of content you're putting out, the reasons why you're doing what you do is always a big factor on how far you get in life, and also the connections that you make along the way. So this is just a awareness message to be aware and to be alert of how you present yourself to the public and the community. The actions you take do comes with consequences, so be aware of that as well. When you out here doing stuff for likes and views, what's important to remember is that senses are senses. We all don't experience the same senses the same way at the same time, like the sense of humor. I might not sense something to be funny the way that someone else may sense something to be funny. So that's something to be mindful of. The same way as fear. Fear works to those who sense it. You might be afraid to swim, I may not. We don't share that sense of swimming. So be mindful, everyone don't share the same senses that you experience and that you want to put out there. So you think something funny, be mindful and know that everybody don't share the same sense of humor as you. You think you're doing something that's entertaining, not everybody sense that to be entertaining as you. So just remember this overall, if you don't remember anything at all, treat people the way you want to be treated. And with that being said, let's carry on and learn from some other mistakes who don't be mindful enough and aware of their surroundings, their social environment, and it just don't work out well from lack of knowledge and the lack of awareness, the lack of self-control as well, the lack of accountability. This is what happened.
So before we continue, I want you guys to meet my fiance. Fiance?
Hello.
So we partnered with MyHeritage to sponsor this video as a paid collaboration and figure out exactly what ethnic background she has.
If you've ever wondered where you really come from, MyHeritage helps you find that out. You basically take a DNA test, you would just
Committed to
Do your own research. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I'm not gonna encourage y'all to send y'all DNA out to people or whatever. I just don't do it. Your DNA out there is gone. If they want to make a clone of you, if they want to do whatever with your DNA, it's theirs now. So if you really want to know where you come from, ask your family members, ask your elders, and go that route. But if you do decide to send your DNA out to people, just be mindful and know that once it's out there, it's out there. The same way as with this content. You post any little thing for laugh and jokes, for likes and views, it's out there. And if you don't want that reputation to be tied to you, be mindful of what you do and how you do it.
You're
so
84.4 Filipino, 5.1%. You know, that's great.
Let's get over with that. I don't give
How
a
in the
damn.
world to see? He wanted to set a new world record. He called it Staying Awake for 12 Days World Record Live. But the challenge didn't make sense because this record didn't exist anymore. In 1997, Guinness banned all world records for staying awake. Why? Because it was deadly. Scientific studies suggest that even small amounts of missed sleep can negatively impact our mental and physical health. Other people tried breaking the staying awake record before. Most of them ended up with health problems that lasted 10 years. In Normie's case, the record wouldn't count, even if he pulled it off. But he didn't care. Normie set up his stream on YouTube. The goal was to go 12 days without sleeping a wink. The world was watching. At first, the stream was fun. Normie was feeling good.
World record.
But as days passed, the tiredness started to show. His speech slowed. He stared off into space. He was even hallucinating. Viewers begged him to abandon the challenge for his own safety. Some tried to find out where he was so they could send medical help.
Have you seen the guy who's not sleeping? It's getting bad. What the what? What's going on anymore, man?
Eventually, YouTube started to get worried. They didn't want Normie having a medical emergency on their site, so YouTube shut down the stream. At that point, Normie had already stayed awake for 250 hours. He only had 12 more hours to go. He refused to quit, so Normie set up a new live stream on Kick. Most people think Kick allows more freedom than YouTube, but even Kick thought Normie's stream was too risky, so Kick shut it down. Then they banned Normie so he couldn't start again, but he refused to give up. Normie moved to another platform, Rumble. By that point, he was barely hanging on. His brother kept him awake by splashing water on him and forcing him to stand, but somehow he made it. He stayed awake for 264 hours and 56 minutes. He beat the world record. After that, Normie slept for 38 hours straight. And surprisingly, he didn't seem to have any serious health problems. Clips from the stream went viral. Normie's name was everywhere. And Normie took it up a notch. 2 months later, Normie started something new. He was going to spend 30 days in complete darkness. And of course, he streamed the whole thing live. The room he stayed in was pitch black. The only reason viewers could see anything was because of an infrared camera. The room had nothing but a mattress and basic supplies. But the longer he stayed in the dark, the creepier things got. He started talking to the camera, trying to guess how many days had passed. By day 22, he was biting chunks out of the door. The viewers thought he lost his mind. Finally, it was day 30. Normie's friends pulled him out of the dark room. The audience watched as he saw light for the first time in 30 days.
Look at the sun.
Where the fuck is it?
It's over here.
I just don't say anything.
Normie did it all for views, and it worked. Today, he has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and he's still doing crazy challenges. Imagine spending 5 years in jail because of a live stream. That's what almost happened to our next streamer, Ice Poseidon. Ice Poseidon became really popular around 2016. He streamed himself getting into all sorts of trouble around Los Angeles. The more trouble he caused, the more views he got. And one day he came up with a new idea. It was going to be the wildest live stream he'd ever done. In 2018, Ice launched the RV road trip. He convinced 14 streamers to hop into an RV and travel across the country. They were streaming 24/7, no breaks, no filters.
We got 14 people, 14 days. Hopefully by the end, hopefully in 3 days, we'll see what happens. I don't know.
It didn't take long for the RV to turn into a war zone. Fights broke out every day, and viewers egged them on. It got so bad that someone was kicked off of the RV and left in the middle of the desert. The RV was a circus, and Ice Poseidon was the ringmaster. It was like he knew the trip would be a disaster, and he engineered the chaos for views. Years after the first RV trip, Ice went on another adventure. In 2023, he flew to Bangkok, Thailand. His goal was simple: film crazy content that would blow up online. But Thailand isn't like America, and his streams were about to land him in a Thai prison. One night, Ice and his girlfriend were eating at a restaurant. Then they had a dumb idea. He wanted to wear lingerie and give his girlfriend a lap dance, right there in the middle of a busy restaurant. And of course, he would stream it live. It was crazy, but he did it. The stream was getting views and reactions online. But there was one thing that Ice didn't consider. Thailand has some of the strictest laws about public decency. Giving a lap dance in public wasn't just offensive, it was illegal. The restaurant manager was furious. She accused them of disrespecting Thai culture. Someone called the police. By the end of the night, Ice was arrested. He was charged with distribution of obscene content. That carried a sentence of up to 5 years in a Thai prison. But Ice got lucky. He spent a couple weeks in jail and was forced to issue a public apology.
I'm being held in Thailand for the actions that I've done a few nights ago at a hotel in Bangkok, Thailand. I wanted to make this video to apologize to Mrs. Nooprat.
Then he was released on a $12,000 bail.
Dang, they
Ice's
hit
lap
him up.
dancing stream got views, but it also got him arrested in a foreign country. Hopefully, he learned his lesson. This next streamer, you guys probably know, he barks like a dog, but the internet loves him for it. IShowSpeed. IShowSpeed is only 20, but he already has 4.2 billion views online. And that's because he is unpredictable. Sometimes he barks, roars, shouts, or twerks at the webcam for no reason at all. His unpredictability made him famous. As more people tuned in, he took his craziness to the next level. It was the 4th of July, 2022, Independence Day. Speed decided to celebrate live on stream, but his idea of celebrating was insane. Speed lit a giant Pikachu-shaped firework inside his bedroom. Not outside, not in the park, right in his room. Surrounded by furniture, wires, and stuff that could easily catch fire. The second he lit the fuse, sparks flew in every direction. The first, Speed laughed it off, but the sparks kept flying and he panicked. It seemed the room would catch fire, but it didn't. The sparks died down and nothing caught on fire. Clips of the live stream went viral.
This is the most obvious thing not to do, but also for some reason on July 4th, all Americans become slightly dumber.
He genuinely could have burned down his house.
A Reddit user summed it up perfectly. People will do the dumbest things for internet fame. You'd think nearly starting a house fire would be a one-time thing, but not for Speed. He did it again. Fast forward to October 2023. Speed was streaming from his room. Suddenly, he pulled out another Pikachu firework.
Let's go!
He lit the fuse, and fireworks exploded all over his room. Sparks hit the curtain and bounced off the walls. It was everywhere. Speed grabbed a pillow, trying to block the sparks. Once again, it seemed the room might go up in flames. Somehow, he got lucky. The fireworks burned out before anything could catch fire. Just like last time, the video went viral. But this time, many of his fans weren't laughing. They were worried. His behavior was dangerous. If the fire caught, it could spread to other homes. Yet, Speed's fan base kept growing. People still loved them. The year after almost setting his room on fire, IShowSpeed was named Streamer of the Year. This next streamer has been in and out of jail so many times, it's almost like he enjoys getting arrested. Vitaly. Today, Vitaly is a streamer, but when he first started out, he was a prankster. His first viral video was titled Miami Zombie Attack Prank. Vitaly dressed up as a zombie and chased random people through the streets of Miami. The video blew up and made Vitaly a star, but it also set the stage for all the chaos that came next. A few years later, Vitaly uploaded another video. It was titled Russian Hitman Prank Gun.
See? That's one thing. Entertainment, the way he playing with people, everybody don't play like that. And look what happens.
Wrong. This time he dressed as a Russian gangster. He would walk up to random people and drop a briefcase beside them. Then he would tell them they had 60 seconds to run away from the briefcase. Naturally, people thought there was something terrifying in there, so they took off running. It wasn't long before someone called the cops. Vitaly was arrested for charges related to device threats. Eventually, the charges were dropped. When Vitaly posted the Russian hitman video, it went viral, and he learned a twisted lesson. Breaking the law to go viral was worth the risk, so Vitaly took his troublemaking global. In 2014, Vitaly interrupted the World Cup final in Brazil. He ran across the field with the words "natural-born prankster" on his chest. Security tackled him, and he spent the night in jail. But he got the attention he wanted. In 2020, Vitaly flew to Egypt and climbed one of the pyramids. That was illegal too. Egyptian police arrested him. He spent 5 days in jail. Then he was deported and banned from Egypt for
Damn.
life. That became his pattern. Travel the world, do something illegal, get arrested, go viral, gain followers. Vitaly was an international troublemaker, but he was about to mess with the wrong country. Earlier this year, 2025, Vitaly flew to the Philippines to film there. This time he was live streaming instead of pre-recording content. It didn't take long for him to stir up drama. In one stream, Vitaly threatened to rob a woman. In another, he stole a police officer's hat and ran.
He was caught harassing a Filipina. He tried grabbing the cap of a security guard, as you can see there. And then there were other acts that he committed.
Vitaly called it content. Viewers called the police. Filipino police tracked him down and arrested him. He was labeled an undesirable alien. That's a legal term for foreigners who break local laws or disturb the peace. And as I'm making this video right now, Vitaly is being held in a detention center. He's facing multiple charges, including harassment and attempted theft. If convicted, Vitaly could spend years in a Filipino prison. He treated getting arrested like part of the job. Maybe this time he's finally gone too far. Up next is someone who will do anything to be the best. Kai Cenat. In early 2024, Kai Cenat was the king of Twitch. He had more subscribers than anyone else, and he was obsessed with being #1. But on September 30th, Kai woke up to bad news. Another streamer called VTuber Iron Mouse passed him. Iron Mouse now had about 326,000 subscribers. That was about 20,000 more than Kai. That meant Iron Mouse was now the top Twitch streamer. Kai wanted to be back on top, no matter what it took, so he came up with a plan, something guaranteed to bring in subscribers. He was going to stream for 30 days non-stop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Kai had done a 30-day stream before, and it was exhausting, but he was willing to endure anything to be #1 again. Kai called it Mafiathon 2, and it kicked off on November 1st, 2024. Kai's room became his stage. He gamed, he sang, he hosted celebrity guests. He even slept live on camera. But after 3 weeks without a break, Kai made a disturbing announcement. He was coughing up blood.
This morning, I was coughing up blood this morning, right in the cup. Look in that cup. There's blood, there's spit. I am sick, because my chest is all clogged.
Viewers panicked and made headlines. Most people would have ended the stream right then, but not Kai. He had 8 more days to hit 30. Kai was beyond tired, but he was desperate to keep people watching. He needed something shocking to hold their attention, and that's when Kai called in a magician. Kai invited a magician called Max Major onto his stream. The plan was simple: do a few magic tricks, get some laughs, keep the energy up. But one trick went too far. As part of his act, Max set up 3 nooses on a wooden frame. It was like something used to hang criminals in the olden days. And he told Kai to pull one of the handles in front of him. If Kai pulled the wrong one, Max could possibly lose his life.
Kai, there's 2 handles left. There's 2 ropes left. It's 50-50. When I'm ready, you're going to pick a handle, you're going to pull it. But this time there's a little bit more on the line.
But when Kai picked the handle and pulled, Max's body jerked into the air. Kai pulled the wrong handle. For a few horrifying seconds, everyone thought they just saw a man lose his life on camera. But it was all part of a very realistic trick. Max the magician was fine. No one was hurt. But the viewers weren't laughing. They expected a magic show. Instead, they were scared. They blamed Kai. But Kai wasn't to blame because neither he nor his team knew the details of the prank beforehand. But controversy or not, Kai wasn't stopping the stream. And a few days later, he hit the goal. 30 days of non-stop streaming. He ended the stream with over 728,000 subscribers.
Damn.
That was more than double Iron Mouse's 326,000 subscribers. Kai is still one of the biggest streamers ever, and I admit he's a really entertaining dude. Even the biggest streamers do dumb things for views, just like this next story. Dr. Disrespect. No one did streaming like Dr. Disrespect. He wore glasses, a wig, and a fake mustache. He was always trash talking. Every live stream felt like a show, and fans couldn't get enough. In 2017, he won Streamer of the Year. Then he made a dumb decision. He was trying to get a few extra views, so he filmed something that should have never been on camera. It happened in June 2019 at the E3 gaming convention in LA. Dr. Disrespect wanted to give his fans a behind-the-scenes look, like they were right there walking beside him. But he took the idea of capturing every moment a little too far. While live on stream, Dr. Disrespect walked into a public bathroom, but he didn't turn the camera off. There were people inside, some at the urinals, others washing their hands, and Dr. Disrespect was streaming. It wasn't just awkward, it was illegal. In California, it's a crime to film inside a public restroom. There were more than 60,000 viewers watching. Social media went crazy. People bombarded Twitch and E3 with complaints. Dr. Disrespect suddenly realized he was in trouble. Twitch slapped him with a 2-week ban, and E3 kicked him out of the convention. A week later, he posted an apology. He said, "We were so into the E3 IRL journey that we became a little blind in what's okay and what's not okay. We had no ill intentions." The scandal eventually died down. Twitch lifted the ban, and Dr. Disrespect started streaming again. He's gotten into a few more scandals since then, but that's a story for another day. This next streamer almost put someone in the emergency room. Carl Reamer. Carl Reamer didn't seem like the type to do something crazy for views. He was a professional Call of Duty player. He had more than 100,000 followers on Twitch. He was part of an esports team. He wasn't involved in any kind of drama. But one day, Carl got caught up in the moment, and he did something that made him go viral for all the wrong reasons. It was March 4th, 2020. Carl went live from his bedroom like usual, but that night, things were different. For one, Carl had been drinking. You can tell by the way he slurred his words. Then he started ranting about people who were calling him broke. He was trying to act tough, like he was trying to scare those calling him broke. So he reached off camera and pulled out a pew-pew.
Say I ain't got money. Say I ain't got money.
The bullet smashed into his computer setup. Carl was frozen in shock. He quickly ended the stream, but it was too late. Thousands of viewers saw the whole thing. By morning, the clip was viral. It seemed everyone was talking about Carl.
And it accidentally fires while he's on air. And I guess he ruined a $1,000 monitor.
And there were serious consequences. First, Twitch banned Carl for violating their firearms policy. Then his esports team dropped him the same day. Carl's career was in free fall. So we made a YouTube video to apologize.
Last night, I was being stupid on my stream, as I normally am. But I'll just kind of roll this clip so that you can understand if you haven't seen it already.
He begged fans not to copy him.
But just please don't do what I did. Please. Don't be that stupid. I don't know what to do, you know? Life was going so good. I was waking up so happy every single day.
Since getting banned from Twitch, Carl moved his streams to YouTube. But it was never the same. No matter what he did, someone in the chat always brought up the incident. It happened in 2020, about 5 years ago. But it seems Carl might never live it down. People call this next streamer evil because of what she did on camera. Natalie Reynolds. Natalie Reynolds would do anything for attention, even if it meant annoying or offending people. She would go to strangers' homes, ask weird questions, and stream the reactions.
Hi, I have a question. I was wondering if you guys have any children. I wanted to do a social experiment. I have this white band that says free candy on it, and I wanted to see if it would fall down here. Sorry.
Another time, she went to a gym wearing nothing but body paint. People noticed and called her out. Her content was offensive, but Natalie loved the drama. Then came the braid incident. Natalie got into a fight with a woman who was upset that Natalie was wearing braids. After the confrontation, Natalie posted more videos showing off her braids. She just loved stirring the pot. That was her thing. Push buttons, start drama, and get views. But what she did next wasn't just annoying, it was deadly. In May 2024, Natalie live streamed herself walking around Austin, Texas. She was taking part in a scavenger hunt. It was a challenge where streamers had to find hidden items to win a prize. As part of the challenge, Reynolds needed to find an RFID scanner. The search led her to a lake. She thought the scanner might be in the water. That's when Natalie saw a woman sitting nearby, and she made her an offer. She promised to give the woman $20 to get the scanner from the lake. The woman said she couldn't swim, but Natalie didn't care. She kept pressuring the woman to jump in.
You should jump in. All right.
And I think if you jump in, you'll be able to find a scanner.
All this time, Natalie kept streaming. Finally, the woman jumped. But since she couldn't swim, she started to drown. Natalie didn't seem bothered. She giggled as the woman struggled. Somebody nearby called 911. That's when Natalie and her crew did the worst thing. They jumped into a car and sped off. They left the woman in the water fighting for her life. As viewers watched in horror, one left a comment. So they walked away instead of pulling her out of the lake. Emergency workers seemed to have made it just in time to save the drowning woman. Meanwhile, Natalie's stream went viral. Thousands saw what she did and they were furious.
Natalie Reynolds, a name I wish I didn't have to say. I don't even want to give her the recognition by saying her name. An evil, scummy person.
It's not often a girl makes my influencer sociopath list, but here we are. Natalie Reynolds. Absolutely dominating the global online competition for lowest IQ behavior.
Natalie tried to defend herself in a follow-up stream and then vanished from the internet for months. But in early 2025, she came back with an apology. Natalie also said she was in legal trouble because of the drowning incident. Investigations were ongoing, but it wasn't looking good for her. She was put on house arrest because of the incident. In the end, Natalie didn't go to jail. At least, not yet. But the internet may never forgive her for what she did to that woman. These stories prove one thing. Not all attention is good attention. My friends, views come and go, but mistakes stay on the internet forever. Visual Venture. So MyHeritage has a promotion going on right now. Make sure you guys click the link in the description box or scan the QR code. Then use the coupon code VISUALV to get...
This is the most